So,
Good morning, sir.
can we start, sir? Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir, we can start.
Emma, you can start, ma.
Yeah, a very warm and prosperous good morning to one and all present here. As we discussed, the on the day one of event, AI-powered mobile application development, organized by the AI Club of EIT Bhopal. Now we'll start by our second day with our esteemed speaker, Mr. Rajkumar K, taking the sessions and incorporating a very demanding domain in the app development session, that is machine learning. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. All right, so two things. First thing, have you completed your homework? I gave some 10 questions to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the second question, have you done with your installation and creation of the first project?
Sir, actually, it's showing some error in Mac.
Okay. So can you share your screen now?
Uh, yes, sir. Just a minute, sir. I'm sharing.
Okay. What about others?
Sir, I too have some errors in Windows.
Windows, what version you are having?
Sir, 10. Sir, installation is done and the file is also created. But running the Ionic server, it is not showing anything and it's saying to install Ionic app scripts. When I say yes, it does something and gives the same problem.
Okay. Sometimes it will happen. So what you can do is you just delete everything and you just reinstall the things from the first.
Sir, for mine, I was getting the different output comparing to you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just show me what is the error. Maybe I can able to guide you. Maybe we'll spend another 15 minutes to track your errors, right?
Sir, how to uninstall that Ionic?
You just share your screen. I'll tell you.
Sir, it is blocked from my side.
Okay.
Just a minute, sir. I'll allow
Yes,
them
sir.
to
Okay. So just give privilege to the people who wants to share.
Guys, those who want to share your screen, please raise your hands so that we can enable. Yes. Sir, this is the output I am getting. Hello, sir.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Okay, so I can able to smell what is the problem. The first problem is the project you have created is Ionic 5 project, not Ionic 3 project. I think you might have missed to give the version, the type hyphen type equal to Ionic Angular. Is that right?
Sir, I have given it, sir.
Oh, really?
Really, sir. Okay, sir, I will try again once, sir.
Because I can able to see the coding is itself is Ionic 5 coding.
Okay, sir, I will try to reinstall it.
Yeah. And ionic serve is different from ionic serve L. Yesterday I told, right?
Yes, sir.
So you tried ionic serve, not ionic serve L. That's why. All right. So next person.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Yep.
Sir, in the command prompt, I have made the hello world. Then this comes and this error comes, but the file is created. And
A
then the
file might be created, but the packages are not installed.
yes.
Okay. Actually, for this case, what you should do, type ionic info
In command prompt.
in command prompt. Ionic space info. Hit enter.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Okay. um. Okay. So let me. Oh, I cannot able to type. So just give npm. You can delete this project. Okay.
Okay.
You can delete this project in the background and give npm
Yes, sir.
uninstall
Enter, sir.
no npm uninstall -g ionic cordova. This is how you will be uninstalling ionic from your machine. So same command for installing, just rename the word install into uninstall. That's it.
Is it correct, sir?
In before uninstall and -g, you should give a space.
Yes, sir. I have given.
Okay, hit enter now.
Yes.
And delete your project in the project directory.
Yes, sir.
You deleted it.
Yes, sir. I deleted.
Okay. So now install your ionic again. This hello world is still there. Just delete that complete folder.
Yes, sir. I have given command.
No, it won't get deleted because it is opened in your Visual Studio Code. First, close your Visual Studio Code.
Okay. Sir, nothing is coming.
when you're deleting, nothing is coming, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, no problem. Just create one more folder in the D drive. Just say Ionic. Create a new folder called Ionic. Or any name, any particular folder you can create. No, don't give colon. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Oh, it's already there. Okay, fine. So CD space Ionic.
Sir,
I
it's
think
not
just
showing.
no, just close your D drive. Open again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So CD space Ionic.
Yes, sir.
Now install your Ionic package. Why are you giving colon always? You're not supposed to give colon.
Okay.
Okay, so now install Ionic. npm install -g Ionic Cordova. So once that is done, try to create a project and let me know you can able to run it or not. Okay. You just stop sharing and you run in the background. Let me see other person. So next person.
So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Sir, actually, when I'm opening that file for creating a new project, it's showing error.
Mhm. Fine. So where you have created your project?
Actually, sir, when I am giving the path, it's showing error.
Which path?
Like user desktop, that path, like D drive in Windows.
No, yeah. So you cannot able to give all those stuffs. So that's fine. So just open your file explorer.
You mean Finder?
What you call in Mac, I don't know.
This?
Yeah. So here where you are going to create a project in the desktop.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So assume you are going to create a project in the desktop.
Yes, sir.
So open your terminal and point your terminal to the desktop itself. Just close the existing terminal.
Okay.
Open a new terminal. Okay.
Yes.
So now you are in your desktop or what?
Yes, I am on the desktop, sir. Means, sir, I
I
am.
mean in the terminal.
Yes, sir. Nowhere, sir. It's not pointing anywhere right now.
Okay. So erase the things you have typed.
Yes, sir. Desktop command no found, not found.
CD space capital D. Hit tab.
Sir, only D.
D is fine. That's not a problem. Just if it can able to find desktop, the desktop word will come automatically. CD space D and then tab. You have to press tab, not enter. Yes. So type desktop completely.
Okay. Now enter after. Okay.
So actually the thing is like if it is Windows, you don't need to worry about the uppercase, lowercase kind of things. But when you are working in Mac, you have to worry much about the uppercase, lowercase. So now you are in your desktop, right?
Yes, sir.
No, just remove that folder name and all. Just give enter. After giving desktop, just give enter. Yeah. So now you are in your desktop. Now you can install your Ionic package npm install -g Ionic Cordova.
Sir, actually, I have already installed that.
Okay, then type Ionic space info. Not slash. I told Ionic space info.
Okay, sorry.
So
Okay,
Ionic is not installed in your machine. You have to install it again.
okay, on desktop.
No, as you are giving -g, it will be accessible throughout everywhere.
So, sir, but in the last, it was showing that it's installed.
Oh, yeah, what I'm trying to mean here is when you are giving a command with -g, that means wherever you are, it will be accessible through everywhere on your system. That's what it means. Okay.
Okay.
So just give that command. You just type in, oh, bro.
One second.
npm install
So this only?
Ionic space Cordova.
Sir, Ionic and Cordova are not installed at the same time in this. It shows error.
Mhm. Okay, so give a word sudo in front of npm. sudo. No, not here. This erase this. Sudo sudo space npm space install Ionic Cordova. Hit enter. Actually, this sudo command in Mac is for admin mode. Okay.
Yes, sir. Actually, I am doing this from yesterday. I am using sudo command.
Now your Ionic got installed, I guess. So now give Ionic info. So now you can able to see your Ionic version, right?
Yes, sir. 5.4.1 points.
That means now Ionic got installed in your machine. So now you
Yes.
can create your project.
Yes, sir. This showed yesterday also.
Uh-huh.
But actually, after that, when I was giving the command to open a project, it was showing
Okay,
error.
just create a project now. Let me see.
Uh, sir,
Ionic start.
enter.
No, actually, I given the complete code itself yesterday, right? You didn't
Sir, I
note
have
it
no,
down.
but
Yeah, project name, then blank, and then Ionic type.
Someone share that one in the chat box. Maybe he can able to see.
sir, Ionic start hello world that file. Na?
Ionic start project name. Yeah, that one in the chat box.
So now enter. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Angular is missing. Ionic.
Ionic
Okay.
hyphen Angular.
Yes, sir. Permission denied. This sir.
Now give sudo here also. Sudo and then the other command.
Command not found.
You missed I.
Array.
Just let it get installed. Let me come back in 1 minute. Hello.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
showing error.
So again, it is showing error. Just scroll up. Mhm. Okay. Okay, so give cd space hello world.
No, actually, in the starting, you haven't written Ionic, you have just written ONIC.
No, after that he has changed it.
Oh, okay.
CD.
CD space hello world, the project which you created. HE, then you can press tab. Not hello space world. Yeah, enter. So now type npm space install. That's it. Give enter.
Sir, I have given the enter.
Mhm. So sudo npm install. Mm, okay, just give ionic serve command.
Ionic.
So
Serve.
yes,
This.
it is not loaded in my machine yet. SCRVE.
Okay.
SERVE. Just make yourself relax. Okay, so we need to work on that. We'll take it after some time,
Okay, sir.
because as it is Mac, the configurational setups are somewhat changing. But anyways, we'll look into it.
Okay, sir.
All right. So next,
Good morning, sir.
yeah, good morning.
Sir, I guess all the Windows users are having the same issue, sir, because many of the people have sent the same error in the chat box, sir. If you can just see that, sir.
Yeah, but I cannot able to view any chat box here. So actually, I got some issues with my Teams. So
Okay, sir.
anyone can share the screen. I'll walk through that, so other people can also do the same thing.
Hello, sir.
Hey, hey.
Sir, I'm facing error while running the codes. Like when I type iconic serve, then it's showing that an error. I have
Yeah,
posted it in the chat box.
No, I cannot able to see your chat box. You can probably share your screen and you can.
Okay, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
So can you make me presenter? Otherwise, someone is sharing.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So my screen is visible.
Yep.
So when I install npm install -g ionic Cordova, I get this error, and when I create the Hello World program, it's showing.
Just scroll down a little bit. Stop. So it is the issue is persisting for everyone, or only to few people?
So
Just same as me.
Sir,
Sir,
everyone, sir.
Same issue.
excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I had the same issue. The problem is probably because Python 3 is installed, and even if we set environment variables, it might not work. So I use the command npm set Python path and set the Python path to 2.7 deliberately. Then it works.
Correct. That's what I mean to say now. because I'm also just searching the same in my machine. So you guys may need to install either Python 2.7 or else the Python 3 version has to be removed.
Okay. So I need to remove the Python 3 and then install Python 2.
2.7, yes.
Oh,
Then it will work for you. So most
okay.
of the people will be saying facing the same issue, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
So that is because of that Python.
So can't we create some virtual environment, because like installing Python 3, then it will be tough for us, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
We can use two Python version at the same moment.
yeah, Python 2.7 you can use. Anyways, let me look into it. I'll just check whether can we do any other things.
Sir, we can install both together, sir. We can just give npm to run only using Python 2.
Yeah. So you can have both 2.7 and 3. I think in my machine actually I had Python 3, but I uninstalled it and I have only Python 2.7 now.
There is a command in which npm config set Python path, and then you can give where the python.exe for 2.7 is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you can probably just share your screen and you can explain how to do that. Maybe the other people can do the same now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if I could be made a presenter, then I would share my screen.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll make you the presenter.
You can share the screen now.
Is my screen? Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, your screen is up.
Yes. So my Python path is actually in my D drive. So usually the command I use is npm config set Python. Then I gave my Python path D, that is Python 2 / python.exe. So once we use this command, then when we run that Ionic make a start project, then automatically it gets taken with Python 2 and the work gets done easily. Hello?
So people just go through this one he has shared. So that should work hopefully. Okay. So if it is not working, just let us know in the future. Maybe you can try that in the break timings or whatever.
Excuse me. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me.
So after like typing this command, then we have to install the npm or what?
Yeah, first
You have to
once
type this command before you start your new project.
Okay, after installation, but before creating new project,
Yes,
we
you have to type this command. And instead of this Python path, you have to give the Python where you have installed Python 2.7.
Yeah, okay.
So that worked for me. So after that, I was able to create my project.
Yeah, that should work for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so people just try to make that possible. So that should work for you also, right? Okay, so other issues will take it after some time. So let us get for today's learning, right? So hope you can able to see my screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. And the most important thing, go with the documentation of version 3, this URL. Okay, so if you just type Ionic Framework docs, it will pointing you to the Ionic 5 version only. Okay, so make sure you are into Ionic version 3, because in this session we are going to learn Ionic 3 only. Okay, so most of the things you see in Ionic 5 site will not work here. So make sure you are in the right direction, right? So we have created a project yesterday. So let me start from there. So let us now go through the structure of the project. Okay, so what are the components an Ionic project will be having? The first file you need to see is the package.json. Okay, so before moving, let us discuss the questions which we had yesterday. So one by one, just one person take the privilege and one person just explain what you understand from that question. So starting from what is meant by component, right? Or what is that? The first question.
Angular. What is Angular?
What is Angular? Yeah. So one by one, people can go ahead. So he's starting first.
So Angular is basically a web application development framework that can be used to develop mobile applications or web applications.
Okay. So what are the features you see in Angular? Like, have you come across the word single page application when you searched about Angular?
Yes, sir. It is used to create a single page application by using TypeScript and
application using HTML and TypeScript.
Okay, just tell me, what do you mean by single page application?
All
Sir, it
the
means that we
files
can
are in a single page. It's a single
So
document.
the
with all
commands
the
are
files.
reloaded in only one page after when we give.
The
the
rewriting is performed on the same page dynamically by the user.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other different answers you have? Okay, so just let me tell you one real-time example. Maybe after that real-time example, people can able to understand. So maybe you guys are right. So few people got it. I'm just telling for the other people. So let's assume you have an exam pad. Okay, you have an exam pad. You are writing your examination. First, you will put one paper, and then if you get the additional sheet, you will be put your additional sheet on top of the first paper. That means the main paper. And whenever you are getting an additional sheet, you will be putting it on top of the previous paper, right? So just assume it is like a stack. In data structures, you might have heard about a stack, right? So assume you are in a stack, right? So the first exam pad, right? That exam pad is going to be your root file. So here in the coding, if you see the screen, we will be having a file called as index.html. Can you see here? This index.html is the only file which is going to load. Every other HTML files you are creating inside the project, it can be 100, it can be 1000, it can be any numbers. All these files will be loaded into this index.html only. So this index.html is going to be the single page where every other pages will be rendered onto the index.html. For example, here we will be having this body tag. So inside this body tag, we will be having a tag called Ionic app, Ion app, line number 36. You can see here, right?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yeah, so this is going to be the root HTML file, the root template file where the application is going to be loaded here. Okay, so all the other files, okay, all the other HTML files will be loaded onto this index.html. And once you read the end of page, then your application will exit. So as we are using the stack structure here, the new page will be entered as push and the old page will be exited as pop. So push and pop operations, you know, in stack, right?
Yes, sir.
So the similar thing only we are going to do in Ionic also. We are going to push a page when you want to find a new page, or if you want to go back, you're going to pop it. While you're popping, the most recent one entered, that is the last in first out strategy we are going to follow here. So that's why Ionic is called as a single page application. And the most important thing, once you are loading an Ionic application, not entire screen is going to load. For example, let me show you. So we are in this page. Okay, so let me go to this Ionic component. So just look at the top of the browser once the page got loaded. So we are in this page. So whenever I'm moving to any other menu, the page is not getting loaded. Can you see here? The page is just being static. I'm moving to various menus, but the page data is not getting loaded. You got it? So instantly you get some information even though you are navigating to some other menu. That means when you are loading an Angular application, that means the whole structure of the project will be coming into your system already on the initial loading itself. So when you are navigating to another pages, only the new data will be getting appended, but the whole page will not get loaded. Can you understand?
Yes, sir.
So in normal websites which are not powered by Angular, if you go to some other menu, the whole page will be getting loaded. Okay, so maybe for example, let me open a W3 Schools. So whenever we are going to another menu, the page is getting loaded. Can you see here? In this top address bar, you can able to see the whole page will be getting loaded when you're navigating to some other menu. But when you do the same thing in this website, you can see the page is not getting loaded. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So this is nothing but this single page application. So this is why Ionic is widely used, okay? Because it will save the loading time of when you are navigating to other pages also. Okay, so only on the first iteration, once you are getting into the application, all the complete project structure will be loaded into your system, and then it will be presented from your local itself. So your application will be much faster than we expect. Okay, so next question.
So the next question was, what is components?
Yeah, go ahead.
So components are basically parts of our main Angular application, and they have all our HTML programming, and if we have applied any CSS styles to it, so it has that. It's basically one part of the whole Angular application.
Okay. So here I just want to highlight few things. So if you look at my screen, we have a lot of files. Okay. So let me take this app folder. In this app folder, you can able to see the file extension as TS. What do you mean by TS?
TypeScript.
TypeScript. So in if you have a JavaScript file, you will be saving it as JS. And if it is a TypeScript file, you will be saving it as TS. So you have app.component.ts and you have app.module.ts, you have main.ts. So you are having lot of TypeScript files, but not every TypeScript file is going to do the same work for you. Okay, so here in this app.module.ts, the page structure itself is looking somewhat different. And when you go to component.ts, again the page structure is somewhat different. Okay, so how can you able to understand which type of file it is using this one? This is called as decorator, maybe your last question, 10th question. So when you give it as at component, this particular TypeScript files refers to a component. So what do you mean by a component? So maybe you guys might have heard about the MVC architecture, right? Model view controller. Yeah, no.
In Django.
No, that architecture is common for every languages. You can see in .NET, you can see in Python, you can see even in Angular JS. Okay, so that MVC architecture, that is just a principle, or that is just a structure where everyone can follow. So what does it mean is you will be segregating the models or the data part into separate area, the view part in the separate area, and the controller part in the separate area. And the interaction will be happening between these three things. So that's what the model view controller. Whereas Angular follows MVVM, model, view, and view model. Okay, so MVVM we used to call it as. Okay, so here we are not going to have a bigger controller. Okay, so you are not going to have a controller file with some 10,000 lines or 1 lakh lines of code, and which is going to point out to 100 different HTML. You are going to have single component for every single HTML file. Okay, so we will be separating our every single pages or every single functionalities which with separate components, and the component is the logical area where you are going to write your front end logic. For example, let's say you have two input fields and the submit button in a login screen. Okay, so you are typing the username and password, and when you are pressing the login button, first the logic part should read the input fields, and then it should send that input fields to the server. So these kind of logical coding will be done in the component. Whereas if you take module, in the module, all the imports will be there. Yes, someone is trying to talk. All right. So in the module file, you can able to see various imports. What are the imports I need to give here? So all these stuffs will be there in the module file. Okay, and we will be having some testing files also. Okay, so whenever I'm creating a page, I can able to see some testing files also, and there are something called as pipes, services, etc. So I'll be telling you how to create a service, how to create a directive, everything. Okay. So generally a component is a logical part which will be having its own template, and it will be having its own styling file also. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So next question.
So next question is, what is a directive in Angular? So directives are these additional components that we add to our tags to give it more attributes or certain styles in Angular.
Okay. So to give more essence, directive is something, for example, let's say I am going to create a new design of calendar for my application. Okay, I'm going to design a new design of calendar to my application. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to design a separate calendar in a HTML, and I want to reuse the same calendar view everywhere in my 100 different pages. So a directive is a reusable component where I can just call that, okay, with a single tag or single attribute, and instantly I can able to view that particular functionality. So a directive is something like a view level or a functionality level, which can be used, which can be reused everywhere you need. Okay. Just have a theoretical idea now. I'll be showing what is directive, how it is working, everything in the demo session. So in a theory perspective, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next question.
So the next question was, what is service in Angular? But I wasn't able to, understand it from what was given on the net. I don't know
Okay,
about
no
others.
problem. No problem. So who else is having an idea about what is services? Anyone? No? Okay, let me tell you. A service is again a reusable component, but the difference is, can you have you ever used this getter setter in Java or any other program? Getter setter functions? No? Okay. Okay, so let me tell you one real-time example so that you can able to understand. So do you know how to make a server request, the HTTP request from the front end?
No, sir.
No? Okay, no problem. So what do you mean by web services? Have you heard about the SOAP architecture, REST client, GET method, POST method, these kind of stuffs? Have you come across?
No, sir.
All right. So you guys are from first year and second year, is it?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
is
For
it like
sure.
something dumping a model like we do in Python? Pickling the
Sorry?
model and unpickling the model like we do in Python. Somewhat
I don't have much idea in Python, but let
like
me tell
we
you.
create a model and compact it in such a way that we can use it in other Python files and other things.
Yeah, maybe.
So web service, isn't it communication between like two electronic devices via the internet? Isn't that basically what web service is?
Yeah, of course. So you have a server computer, you have a client machine. From the client machine, if you want to pass a request to the server computer, so both are some different machines. From your client machine, if you want to pass a request to the server computer, then you need to pass a request, and that request should should follow some protocols. Okay, so you can you can learn more about the get services and post services. I'll tell you all these stuffs. No worries. Okay, so what a service is actually doing in Angular is a service is again a reusable thing, but a small difference is in directive you will be reiterating a view or a particular functionality, but wherein in a service you will be writing a common function. Okay, so let's say you will be writing different functions in other programming languages with some return value. So whenever you are passing some parameter to that function will emit some values to you, right?
Okay, sir.
So maybe let me write a program for you in Java. Maybe you can able to understand. So here I am creating a function. So what will be the output here?
The sum of the two numbers.
Yeah.
30, sir.
So 30 will be the output. So how the program is working? We have a common function add numbers. Okay. And we are trying to get two inputs. And after getting these two inputs, you are returning some value which is getting by added these two numbers. Okay. So whenever a function calls this particular, whenever a class is calling this particular function, it will
Sir,
immediately return some value. Yeah.
so what is difference between adding a static and not static in Java?
So if
Like
you're not
sometimes we
adding,
add,
yeah, if you're
yes.
not adding static, then what you should do is you have to create an object for it.
Okay, sir, understood.
So like this you have to do, and then you have to give like m dot add numbers. So generally why you are adding static here is if you add the keyword static in a Java program, that will create a memory for that function in the compile time itself. But if you are not giving the keyword static, then you have to create an object. After creating object, the memory will be created, and then you can able to access that. Right.
Yes, sir.
So you can just consider this is a service. Means you are creating a common functionality. Okay. So whenever you want to have a particular function to be run inside your application, then you can just call this service class, and then you can return with the value which you need. Okay. So you can just say like directive is UI oriented, whereas a service is function oriented. Got it? So directives you will be reusing in a HTML file, and the service you will be reusing in a TypeScript file. So now you got the difference between these two.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next question. Next question. Is it noted down or not?
The next question is what is module?
Okay. And the answer?
Where we group the directives and the services.
Okay. Yeah, so as I showed you before, a module is a file where you will be importing all the dependencies, all the, for example, here I have all the pages which I used in my application. Okay. And here I'm having all the modules I'm going to use. And here I'm having the external services we are going to use here. So all these stuffs will be injected in the module file. Okay, so the module file is going to be like the index page of your application, right? So maybe like if you are creating a project or if you are reading a book, you will be having the table of contents or index page, right? So similarly, this module file will be holding what are the external things you are going to use inside your project. Okay. So just get a theoretical knowledge now. I'll be explaining everything in the real time perspective so you can understand well in the future. Right. And next question. Excuse me, just 1 minute. All right. So next question.
So
Please
the
be
next
fast.
question was, what is dependency injection?
Okay, so I'll tell you the dependency injection while we are coming to practical. So we'll skip it for now. Next.
So next is interpolation.
Okay, again that I'll be explaining in the practical session. Next.
So package.json.
Okay, so this package.json is going to have what are the libraries you are going to use for your project. Okay, so you can see here we have this Angular libraries. Okay, so what are the libraries you need? What are the external libraries you are going to import to your project? So all these stuffs will be pointed here. Means if you just look at your project size. Okay, so let me go to my D drive. I have created a folder V80, and inside the V80 I have a folder. If I'm checking the properties of this folder, so the size of the project is 173 MB, but even we didn't start writing any code. But before that itself, your project size is 173 MB. So if your friend is asking you to share your code through mail or something, how will you do that? The memory size is extremely big, right? But when you open your project, except node modules, if you search the properties, the size is just 12 MB. Means your node modules folder is the folder which is having all the libraries. Okay, so this folder is having all the libraries, and this particular folder is taking the complete size of your application. So when you want to share your application to your friends or to anyone, you need not to copy this node modules. You can just skip this folder node modules, and you can share your node modules, your other code with your friend. So after your friend receives your code, what he have to do is he have to put a command like npm install. If you give npm install, then immediately your package manager will look into the package.json file. Okay, it will search what are the dependencies I need to install. Then the node modules file will be automatically created. So for example, I can show it in live. So I'm going to delete this node modules folder in my system now. Okay, I deleted my node modules. Now I'm going to give npm install. Okay, so again the node modules folder is created here. Right, so the package.json is going to have the index of what are the libraries you are going to use for your package. Okay. JSON is nothing but JavaScript object notation. So it is an object format. Okay, so here you will be having this object format. So object is nothing but a key and a value. So you have a key here, you have a value here. So that is nothing but the object format. So JavaScript will be using this JSON format. Whenever you want to pass a data, you can either have a JSON format or an XML format. But JSON format is easy to use, easy to read by the computer. So all these stuffs are there in JSON. So that is the next question, right? What is JSON?
Yes, sir. After it.
Yeah. So this is just an object format file where you can able to store the data. It will be having the key and value. So even your server request will be server response will be coming as a JSON only, and your server request will be passed through JSON format only, that object format only. Okay, so what is the next question?
About decorators. What is decorators?
Yeah, so decorator again. So decorator is like it is a metadata. It will tell you, it will tell the TypeScript file what type of file it is. For example, this is a component file, so we are specifying it as @component. So whenever you see the at symbol and a word, that means a decorator. Okay, so in Angular, we'll be having various decorators at component, at injectable, at ng module, at pipe. Okay, so lot of decorators we'll be using. So that is used to tell that particular part of code who you are, right? Okay, so just have a quick break for 10 minutes and return back. We'll start writing the code with the knowledge we got now. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
I think we can return back on 11:35. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Okay, guys, we'll meet on 11:35. Bye.
Uh,
When will the sir come actually?
In 5 minutes, we'll resume the session.
Okay.